What's up, guys? It's Value. Welcome back to another video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about a new series that's going to be hitting Netflix called The Altruist. And this series is about Sam Bankman-Fried. If you don't know who Sam Bankman-Fried is, he's basically the guy that collapsed FTX and gambled away $8 billion of customer funds. I've done another video about him before. He's currently right now serving 25 years in prison. He is really hated amongst the world because he was laundering funds for the Democratic Party. His parents also are big super PAC Democratic donors. He has a big history of being involved in a lot of things that he shouldn't be. One of the things, he was dating one of his ex-girlfriends and one of the main girls that worked at FTX alongside him. Well, technically, I believe she worked for Alameda Research, which is a parent company that gambled away all the funds, is Caroline Ellison. I'm sure you've seen the memes, if you haven't, of her, but she's a huge meme, and they were romantic together, which is really gross to think about. What's even grosser to think about is that there's proof and reports of the companies having sex orgies and abusing Adderall and doing all kinds of crazy shit. So let's get to it. The title of this video is How Orgies and Drugs Collapsed FTX and Alameda.
Together, the collapse of the FTX crypto exchange and its sister trading firm Alameda Research was the single biggest black swan event of the year in crypto. It's now been exposed that FTX is a sex cult and a secret hedge fund that paid off government officials to ban their competition and gambled away their customers' money while high on drugs. The executive teams were regularly hosting orgies fueled by amphetamines, but more on that later. Sam Bankman-Fried, aka SBF, who's the founder.
Just imagine Sam Bankman, look at this dude. Just imagine the sweaty, gross, nerd-filled orgies in their office that they were having. That place probably smelled like, I can't imagine how bad it smelled in there.
Founder of both companies, but CEO to FTX, has resigned and declared for bankruptcy. Over $200 billion of value were wiped off the crypto market, and we are likely to see further turmoil in the short term.
The most important point to be made here is the collapse of FTX and FTT represents a corrupt crypto bank collapse fueled by an inflationary fiat cryptocurrency.
This is like a casino built on top of a Ponzi.
Unfortunately, the house of cards came crashing down last week. Since releasing my last video on the downfall of SBF and explanation of the whole fiasco, there's been a slew of new developments that's come to light. It is now clear that Alameda siphoned billions of dollars from FTX customer accounts to make risky bets. Alameda used these funds in a way that went unnoticed by customers, employees, and auditors. They were able to cover this up because the assets it was trading were never reported on its balance sheet. This not only violates FTX.
Dudes were literally just having orgies all day and clicking random buttons, gambling their money away. And to be fair, bro, they had seed investment in Solana at $8. They had an investment in Anthropic, which is the company behind Claude AI, which is like, I saw a tweet yesterday, I saw a post that if SPF never did anything illegal, his portfolio would be like $40 billion. Bro would be worth about $40 billion right now if he didn't do anything illegal. So just to show you, karma is a bitch.
FTX's terms of service, but also U.S. securities laws.
You've been a bad boy, huh?
Alameda also used prior knowledge of tokens that were scheduled to be listed on FTX to buy them ahead of the public announcements and then sold them for a profit.
Dumb Pete.
You are an evil nerd.
A longtime crypto lawyer believes that SPF's behavior and FTX's business practices clearly demonstrated fraud.
Appears to be massive fraud.
When customers deposited funds into FTX, they believed their funds were used for trading on the exchange. Instead, it was siphoned over to the hedge fund to be gambled away. If convicted, wire fraud carries a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison.
I just wanted to let you know, jail's not that bad. It sucks, but it's not the worst thing ever. You know, so don't fret if that. I hope it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, it's not that bad.
Good to know.
Sam?
Do you want me to spend some time sitting next to you? How about no?
As of now, SBF is not charged with anything and would be presumed innocent until found guilty.
Yeah, so this video is 3 years old. He's been convicted. He's now in jail for 25 years. And every single day he simps for Trump on the timeline. I don't know how bro is tweeting outside of he's in jail and he's still tweeting, but he's simping every single day for Trump to give him a pardon. But the Trump administration already announced that they're not going to give him a pardon, so.
In court.
Dear Lord, please forgive me.
But before we get into the orgies and drug use, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. My goal is to continue to bring like vacations. But now CEO Caroline Ellison.
The animal.
Attention is now turning to Alameda's juvenile CEO Caroline Ellison. She lived in this very penthouse in the Bahamas with SB.
Look at the crib that they're staying in. Look at her crib. Look at this house. That's where they're staying in. Look at her crib.
Others. Together, these 10 roommates made most of the high-level decisions pertaining to the operation of FTX and Alameda. That included FTX co-founder and CTO Gary Wang and FTX Director of Engineering Nishad Singh. What's shocking is that now it has come to light that the group was
Like, look at bro's face, bro. You're telling me you trust this guy right here with billions of dollars? I think he did an interview with Eric Voorhees, which is a guy, like a really, really OG Bitcoin guy, way back in the day before FTX rugged. And he was even questioning Sam Bankman right before the whole thing happened. And like, I remember during the interviews, SBF had no idea what he was talking about at all. The bar is low in crypto. The bar is really low.
as a polycule, which means a romantic network of multiple people typically linked by overlapping sexual.
So these motherfuckers were in a polycule, whatever, where they're having orgies with each other.
Or relationships.
Orgy.
Ellison confirmed on her Tumblr that FTX was indeed a poly relationship. So yes, the orgies were real. Going back to before all of this got weird, Ellison graduated from Stanford in 2016 with a math degree. She went on to become a junior trader at Jane Street, where she met SBF, who later recruited her to work at Alameda. After just 3 short years, she became the CEO of Alameda. At the tender age of 28, she was overseeing billions of dollars being traded within the firm. This is what she had to say regarding her math skills required for trading billions of dollars, as well as her trading strategies.
Yeah, absolutely could pull it off without my math degree. Use very little math. Use a lot of like elementary school math.
This is who you're letting gamble $8 billion of our money with, by the way. For context, like look how crazy crypto is, like in the grand scheme of things. But come on, guys, hear me out. You wouldn't?
Being comfortable with risk is very important. We tend not to have things like
this was too comfortable with risk. Way too comfortable.
stop losses. I think those aren't necessarily great risk.
Very basic, but if you set a price, say you're in at $5, you set a stop loss so you can get up from the chair and not have to stare at it all day. You set a stop loss at a certain price. So say you get in at $5, you set the stop loss at $4. So if it hits $4, it sells for you, like the position closes, the trade is done. So you don't necessarily lose more money. You're literally managing your risk with the stop loss. And you see here, she literally says, I think those aren't necessarily a great risk management tool when the entire point of a stop loss was to manage risk.
Risk management tool. Trying to think of a good example of a trade where I've lost a ton of money.
Maybe the entire company, maybe everything that you've done, like your whole life, you like $8 billion. How about that for a trade that you lost a lot of money on?
Well, I don't know. I probably don't want to go into specifics too much with that.
And there you have it, folks. The CEO of Alameda. Inexperience is an understatement. Amphetamine use also ran prevalent within that circle, with Ellison previously bragging about her regular use. SBF was no different.
Drugs are bad. Okay.
It is now evident that the whole operation was essentially ran by a group of kids, and it was a place full of conflicts of interest, nepotism, and lack of oversight. Since its collapse, lawmakers are racing to drop the hammer on crypto regulation. Both the Department of Justice and the SEC are now investigating FTX and SBF. The close ties between FTX and Alameda were ultimately what led to SBF's downfall. The sex and drug use were just the cherry on top. It's gonna take a long while to see how this whole thing plays out. All I know is that crypto is here to stay. We just gotta power through it. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my video mentioned earlier.
So yeah, that's basically that's the gist of it all. And then I wrote an article for my newsletter. At the end of the video, feel free to go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to the Value in Time newsletter. Just about every day I have a topic going out on crypto and the crypto industry, stuff like this. If you're interested, feel free to subscribe. And, I basically just talk about what's going on, what happened, like the overview that just happened that we went over, who Caroline is, why does she matter, blah, blah, blah. We saw the mansion in the video. And then the harem situation, we saw they're polyamorous, they're having sex, all this stuff. And essentially it all blew up, and now he's in jail for 25 years. And bro just simps Trump all day. The actors and stuff, I think they got announced too. I don't know if it's anyone really. They should have got, they have, let me see. I don't know. But yeah, they have it coming out. There's no trailer, or I would show you the trailer, but we watched the trailer, but yeah. So when this comes out, I don't have Netflix. I'm gonna have to buy Netflix, but I definitely would be excited to watch this because it would kind of be like the movie Dumb Money. Good example of a movie that was really good, in the modern day, like The Big Short. I love watching financial stuff, so I'll be checking it out. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video. Subscribe to the newsletter, like I said, if you like keeping up with these type of topics. And in the description, there's a bunch of trading tools that are completely free. You don't have to buy anything. You can trade meme coins, trade crypto, charge stuff like Coinbase, very basic stuff. That's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you on the next one.